What's up, everyone? We're going to be going through the best NBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now, don't forget to like this video, as it does let me know to continue to give you free picks every day. So make sure to like this video, clicking that button down below. And if we get 600 likes, I will do another video for tomorrow. Now, I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and we actually got 20 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now, a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got 2 picks wrong and got 20 right, which is a 95% win rate. Yes, guys, you're that right. 95% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak. But if you want to get a 95% win rate and get 20 picks right like me, win more bets, and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which will be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $750 just yesterday. Another member who won $120 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description. So go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group. And I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Justin Pasquale 1808, who said, finally had my luck turn around last night, bro. Cashed out on 5 slips total. So shouts out and congratulations to him. And also shouts out to Eugene White 7408, who said $50 sub. So shouts out to them. And if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to talk about is none other than Jarice Walker, and this one is for 1.5 3-pointers made, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Jarice, we actually have seen him go on the under in 4 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, you see on November 10th, faced off against Golden State Warriors, had 3 3-pointers made there. November 12th, faced off against Utah, had 0 3-pointers made. Then November 14th, faced off against Phoenix, had 0 3-pointers made there. November 16th, faced off against Toronto, had 0 as well. And then 1 3-pointer made against Detroit on November 18. So it's definitely been pretty, interesting for Jarice. We have seen him go on the under quite consistently. And we do know that actually Jarice Walker does face off in this next matchup against none other than actually Charlotte Hornets. So Indiana do face off against Charlotte Hornets. It is going to be an exciting game for sure. But looking at where both these teams do lie, starting off with Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers unfortunately have gotten off to a pretty rocky start, because they actually have a record of 1 win and also 13 losses. Now, that does put them actually at the last spot in the Eastern Conference at 15th. And on top of that, they're 1-5 from home, 0-8 from away, and are currently on an 8-game losing streak. So very interesting to see there. Now, when we actually look at Indiana, they face off against a Charlotte Hornets team, where Charlotte do rank 12th in the actual Eastern Conference. And on top of that, not only that, but they also have a record of 4 wins and 10 losses. That's a 28.6% win percentage there. 3-4 from home, 1-6 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. So both of these teams are in fact pretty poor teams when it comes to their ranking in the Eastern Conference. And this is definitely going to be an exciting matchup, because we do know that actually Charlotte Hornets defensively, when we actually look at 3-point percentage allowed, we do see that Charlotte Hornets do actually, rank low, as they rank 30th. Then looking at actually 3-point attempts allowed, we also see the Charlotte Hornets are actually ranked 3rd, and then 3-point makes allowed, we see that the Hornets do rank 21st. So, Charlotte Hornets don't really rank too well overall as a team when it comes to restricting 3-pointers. However, the reason why we still do like the under for someone like Jarice Walker is that coming into this matchup, we do actually see that Jarice Walker does face off against a Charlotte team where Charlotte actually do a fantastic job at restricting 3-pointers to the forward position. So when we actually look on a per position basis, we actually see that Charlotte do a great job at restricting, 3-point attempts, 3-point percentage, and 3-point makes to the forward position. And that's a big reason why we do very much actually, like the under for someone like Jarice. Now, when we actually look at Jarice as well, we have seen that when it comes to his last 5 games, he's, not really had that great of a usage rate so far. When it comes to the 3-point, kind of caliber sort of area, we've seen him go in the under quite consistently. His average over the last 5 is 0.8. So with all those things being said, we do very much like the under for this situation here for someone like Jarice Walker. So we see a lot of value there to go on the under, especially with the way that he has been playing. It hasn't really been that, I would say high usage rate in the 3-point department. So we definitely see him suffering there. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the under for Jarice Walker. When we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So that works out in our favor there. So for that reason, Jarice Walker, 1.5 3-pointers made for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So getting to the next player, we're going to be talking about none other than Sandro Mamukelashvili. Now, hopefully I said that right, but this one is actually for 8.5 points, and this one is for less. So we are just going to call him by Sandro because I do apologize if I'm getting his name wrong, but he has gone on the under in actually 1 out of the last 5 games. So very interesting to see there. Now, when we actually look at this matchup, we do also know that Sandro has gone on the under 1 out of the last 5, but looking at November 8th, faced off against Atlanta, had 12 points there. November 9th, faced off against Philadelphia, had 10 points. Then 13 points against Cleveland on November 14th. November 16th, faced off against Indiana, had 12 points there. And 7 points against Charlotte on November 18th. So very interesting to see. Now looking at this, we have seen that Sandro has gone on the under only 1 out of the last 5, but his average over the last 5 is 10.8. So he is shooting over this line. So why do we like the under for this one? Now when we actually look at Toronto, we see that they have themselves a very good matchup against none other than Philadelphia 76ers. So it is definitely going to be an exciting game for sure. But looking at actually this matchup and looking at the rankings, starting off with Toronto Raptors have gotten off to a kind of a hot start so far this season, because we've actually seen them, come in at the 3rd spot in the Eastern Conference. Now they actually have a record of 9 wins and 5 losses. That's a 64.3% win percentage there. They're also 3-2 from home, 6-3 from away, and are currently on a 4-game win streak. So very interesting to see there. Now coming into this matchup, we do also know that they face off against a Philly team where Philadelphia are doing very well as they rank 5th in the Eastern Conference as well, have a record of 8 wins, 5 losses, a 61.5% win percentage there, and also 5-2 from home, 3-3 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So very interesting to see there. Now coming into this one, it is definitely going to be an exciting one, but we do also know coming into this matchup is that it is definitely going to be a great matchup, because looking at Philly, we do see that Philadelphia 76ers do rank 15th when it comes to points allowed. So they actually do a pretty decent job there. However, the reason why we still do like, the under for this situation here is due to the fact that when we look at Philadelphia, they actually do a fantastic job at restricting points to the big man position. So for that reason, we definitely are expecting the under for this situation here. Now, when we look at Sandro, we have seen him face off against Philly recently. Yes, that is true. However, coming into this next matchup, although he did get 10 points in that recent matchup they faced off against, we are expecting a little bit of a different outcome coming into this next game. So we should see a little bit more of a different outcome, different sort of, strategies coming from this Philadelphia team. And for someone like Sandro, who doesn't have the highest usage rate in this roster, we definitely see it affecting this greatly. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for someone like Sandro to go on the under in this case, because we see a lot of value there, as we mentioned, to actually go on the under. So keep an eye out for Sandro Mamukelashvili for 8.5 points for less, I think is a great pick. So getting to the next pick, we're going to be talking about none other than Seion James, and this one is for 1.5 assists, and this one is for less. Now looking at Seion, we actually have seen him go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Looking at those 5 games, you see on November 11th, faced off against LA Lakers, had 1 assist there. November 13th, faced off against Milwaukee Bucks, had 1 assist. Then November 15th, off a back-to-back for him, and actually had against Milwaukee again with 3 assists in that matchup. However, had 1 assist against Oklahoma City Thunder on November 16th, and then November 18th, faced off against Toronto and had 2 assists there. So we actually have seen Seion James go on the under quite consistently, as I mentioned, 3 out of the last 5, but his average over the last 5 is 1.6. Now, one of the reasons why he is in this position where we actually do see, his average over the last 5 is higher is due to the fact that when we actually look at some of these games, he has had some outlier games like the one on November 15th against Milwaukee, and it's actually led to this line being increased quite a lot. Now, when we look at Charlotte, they face off against none other than Indiana Pacers. Now, we have touched on this, matchup before, but just to quickly remind you all again, we do know that Charlotte come in at the actual 12th spot in the NBA, in the Eastern Conference, that being, and also had a record of 4 wins, 10 losses, a 28.6% win percentage there, and it was also 3-4 from home, 1-6 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. Now, looking at their matchup, we do know they face off against Indiana, or Indiana have been on a bit of a struggle streak because Indiana find themselves in a situation where they rank last in the actual Eastern Conference for the Pacers and also has a 1-13 record. Now, when we actually look at this, we do also see that they have a 7.1% win percentage, which has been unfortunate. And on top of that, they also have a 1-5 record from home, 0-8 record from away, and are currently on a 8-game losing streak. So for that reason, we definitely do very much like this situation here, as we do see that Charlotte Hornets are ranked a little bit better. And looking at this matchup, however, the reason why we do like the under for it is that when we actually look at Indiana Pacers, they do rank 8th when it comes to assists allowed. So although, Indiana haven't really been the most convincing team as of lately and haven't really done anything special, what we actually do see from a defensive side of things is they actually do a great job at restricting assists. And we definitely are expecting that to continue on into this next game. No doubt about it. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for this one. And for someone like Seion James, we definitely see him going on the under due to the fact that when we actually look at this matchup, it is definitely going to be Indiana restricting somewhat of Seion James, as Seion James also does have a low usage rate in this department as well. So we definitely see that affecting greatly. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the under for this one. So Seion James, 1.5 assists for less, I think is a great pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player going to be talking about is none other than DeAndre Hunter. Now DeAndre Hunter, great player for none other than actually Cleveland Cavaliers, and he has done a fantastic job so far this season, actually averaging 17.4 points, 4.8 rebounds, 2.9 assists, and also had a 44.2% field goal percentage. So he's actually done a fantastic job there. Now we have actually seen that he ranks 52nd when it comes to points, 101st when it comes to rebounds, and 102nd when it comes to assists, and also 117th when it comes to field goal percentage. But looking at Cavaliers, they have themselves a very good matchup against none other than the Houston Rockets. Now it is definitely going to be an exciting game for sure, and looking at where both these teams do lie, starting off with the Cleveland Cavaliers, we do see Cavs have gotten off to a hot start, as they actually have a record that puts them in the 2nd spot in the Eastern Conference. They have a record of 10 wins and 5 losses. That's a 66.7% win percentage there. And on top of that, also have a 6-2 record from home, 4-3 record from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. So very interesting to see there. Now looking at Cavs, they face off against none other than a Rockets team, where Rockets are also doing pretty well, as they currently rank 3rd in the Western Conference. They have a record of 9 wins and 3 losses, a 75% win percentage, and on top of that are 5-1 from home, 4-2 from away, and are currently on a 4-game win streak. So very interesting to see. Now looking at this matchup, we do also know that looking at Rockets defensively, we do know starting off with points allowed that they do rank 6th, then also rank 6th when it comes to assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank 1st. So Houston have actually really done a great job as of recent when it comes to their points, rebounds, and assist department. When it comes to defense, they've definitely been able to start getting in a little bit more of a rhythm. They started off the season slow, but now they are starting to pick up, which is one of the reasons why they are currently on a 4-game win streak, and it definitely has to do with their defense. And the defense has been absolutely immaculate as of lately, and we are expecting that defensive pressure to be on someone like DeAndre Hunter, which could definitely lead him to the under for this one. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for someone like DeAndre Hunter. Whether it's points, rebounds, and assists, we definitely see him being able to go on the under in all these 3 categories. Now, coming into this matchup, we do also see that when we look at both of these teams, both are pretty slow-paced teams, and we definitely see that slower pace means less volume, and less volume means less opportunity to score. So coming into this one, we do very much like the under. Now, looking at, DeAndre Hunter's last 5 games, we have seen some pretty big matchups, but looking at it more in depth, we do also know on the 11th, faced off against Miami, actually had a 140-138 OT loss. Then after that, faced off against, in that matchup, also had 23 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds there. Then on the 13th, faced off against Miami again, had a 130-116 win with 21 points, 2 assists, and also 6 rebounds there. After that, on the 4th, faced off against Toronto, had a 126-113 loss, had 16 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. On the 16th, faced off against Memphis, had a 108-100 actual win there, and had 9 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. After that, on the 18th, faced off against Milwaukee at a 118-106 win with 11 points, 1 assist, 5 rebounds there. So it's definitely been pretty interesting for someone like DeAndre Hunter. Now, coming into this matchup, it is going to be interesting because, DeAndre Hunter's usage rate has definitely been a little bit everywhere. He has some good games sometimes. Other games hasn't really done too well. But coming into this next one, we do very much like the under as they face off against a tough, unfortunately, Houston Rockets team. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for this situation here. Now, looking at someone like DeAndre Hunter, we also do know that, his usage rate isn't also the highest for this team. There are other star players on this roster, unfortunately, and we are expecting them to have a little bit more usage rate compared to DeAndre Hunter. And with a high pressure defense like Rockets, we are expecting Hunter's usage rate to suffer as one of the most, and we think the star players are going to handle a lot more of that usage rate out there. So for that reason, we definitely are liking the under for this one. So definitely keep an eye out for DeAndre Hunter. If the line is too close to his averages, definitely look to go on the under there. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about none other than Kon Knueppel. Now, Kon has been playing absolutely great his rookie season and has done a fantastic job, actually averaging 17.6 points, 6 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and has also had a 46.5% field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a great job there. He also ranks 50th in points, 64th when it comes to rebounds, 108th when it comes to assists, and then 93rd when it comes to field goal percentage. So it's definitely been an interesting time for him. Now, when we look at Kon, we do know that he has himself a very good matchup against Indiana Pacers, which we've touched on multiple times. And looking at both of these teams, just to quickly remind you again real quickly where both of these teams do lie. Starting off with the Hornets. Hornets ranked 12th with a record of 4 wins and 10 losses. That's a 28.6% win percentage there. 3-4 from home, 1-6 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. And they face off against a Pacers team where Indiana Pacers do rank 15th in the Eastern Conference, and they actually have a record of 1 win and 13 losses. So that is actually a 7.1% win percentage there. Very poor. 1-5 from home, 0-8 from away, and are currently on an 8-game losing streak. So pretty interesting to see there. Now, coming into this matchup, we do know that, Indiana Pacers and Charlotte Hornets is going to be a very, interesting matchup. But looking at Pacers and where they do rank, we do see that they rank 27th when it actually comes to points allowed. On top of that, when we actually look at assists allowed, we see that they rank 8th. And then rebounds allowed, we also do see that the Pacers actually rank lower again as a rank 27th. Now coming into this one, we do actually like the over for someone like Kon, strictly in the points and rebounds department. Now Kon has been playing absolutely fantastic, and he definitely has one of the higher usage rate in this Charlotte Hornets team for sure. Even though as a rookie he's able to get his numbers up there, and his usage rate out there has definitely been very, very high, and that's why coming into this next one we do still very much like the over, but strictly just for points and rebounds, since Pacers do rank a lot lower in those two categories compared to assists. Now coming into this matchup, we do also know that they face off against a Pacers team that also do like to push the pace quite a bit. And because of that, we are expecting a pretty interesting matchup between these two teams, as both are fast-paced teams, and Kon could definitely see a little bit of an increase in his usage rate due to the high volume and high-paced game that they are definitely going to be in. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the over. Now, looking at this, we also do see that, Charlotte and Kon Knueppel has done a great job when it comes to Kon's stats. We saw on the 11th faced off against LA Lakers, actually had a 121-111 loss with 19 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists there. Then on the 13th faced off against Milwaukee, had a 111-100 win with 16 points, 1 assist, 6 rebounds there. On the 15th faced off against Milwaukee, had a 147-134 loss in overtime, and then 32 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds there. Had 8 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds against Oklahoma City Thunder with a 109-96 loss on the 16th. And then on the 18th, faced off against Toronto, had a 110-108 loss with 24 points, 1 assist, and 7 rebounds there. So all in all, we definitely do very much like the over for this situation here for someone like Kon Knueppel. He has done a great job so far this season, and even whether they win or lose, he's definitely been in a very, very good position where he does have a high volume in the rebounding department and points. So we are expecting him, especially against a poorly defensive Pacers team, we should see him be able to go in the over in this one for sure. So getting to the next player, we're going to be talking about Russell Westbrook. So Russell Westbrook, great player for none other than Sacramento Kings, and he has done a fantastic job for them. But we do know that he's been averaging 14.4 points, 6.6 rebounds, 6.4 assists, and has also had a 43.6% field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a fantastic job there. And when we actually look at Russell Westbrook, he also ranks 88th in points, 43rd in rebounds, 18th in assists, and also 123rd when it comes to field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a great job there. But looking at someone like, Russell Westbrook, we do know Sacramento Kings have themselves a very good matchup against Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, this is the Battle of the West in a sense that when we look at both of these teams, there is a pretty big discrepancy because we do see that the Kings come in at the 14th spot in the Western Conference. They have a record of 3 wins and 11 losses. That's a 21.4% win percent there. And on top of that, they are 2-5 from home, 1-6 from away, and are currently on a 6-game losing streak. So pretty interesting to see there. Now they face off against an Oklahoma City Thunder team who rank first in the Western Conference, and they have a record of 14 wins and 1 loss. They have a 93.3% win percentage there. They are 6-0 from home, 8-1 from away, and are currently on a 6-game win streak. So very, very interesting to see. We have seen Russell Westbrook actually, really do a great job for Sacramento, but he hasn't been able to really help them get these wins. And looking at Oklahoma City Thunder defensively, OKC ranked first when it comes to points allowed, second when it comes to assists allowed, and 11th when it comes to rebounds allowed. So OKC have been playing absolutely out of their mind, which is one of the reasons why they have the best record, and they are actually on pace to beat the record in the most wins in the NBA. So they're currently on pace to do that. They've been on an absolute tear, and when it comes to this season, it is definitely just getting started as well. Now, looking at this matchup, we do see Russell Westbrook going on the under, whether it's points, rebounds, and assists. We have seen Sacramento Kings, really do a fantastic job trying to give Westbrook a high usage rate. But coming into this game, especially against a Thunder team like this, we are expecting Thunder's defense to be a little bit too much for someone like Westbrook to handle, which is why we do very much like the under for this one. Now, looking at, Russell Westbrook over the last 5 games, we saw on the 10th faced off against Minnesota Minnesota had a 144-117 loss there with 6 points, 1 assist, 0 rebounds. On the 12th, faced off against Denver, had a 122-108 loss with 14 points, 11 assists, and also 8 rebounds there. Then also on the 13th, faced off against Atlanta, had a 133-100 loss with 10 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Against Minnesota on the 15th, had a 124-110 loss with 13 points, 14 assists, and 10 rebounds. And then 14 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds against San Antonio Spurs with a 123-110 loss. So, although Westbrook has been putting up some pretty decent numbers coming into this one, we aren't really expecting him to go on the over. Now, although Westbrook has put up great numbers as well, he isn't also the highest usage rate player for this Sacramento team. And with them facing off against a very, very tough defense, we are expecting other players in this Sacramento Kings team to get a little bit more usage rate out there, which could definitely lead to the under for someone like Russell Westbrook, as his usage rate is going to be, more likely sacrifice coming into it. So for that reason, we definitely do very much like the under for this one. Keep an eye out for this matchup. If the line is too close to his averages, then definitely look to go on the under.